Has your diet come to a complete halt? Well, many of us do go on a diet and then we crash and burn because of the mistakes that we make. Well, in today's video, so I'm going to be talking to you about the 5 biggies to help you avoid them. Well, hi, I'm Vanessa McLennan and I help people to lose weight by working on the emotional, psychological side of eating. So before we begin, please click on the subscribe button, click on the bell, and let's get started. Stop obsessing over the scales. You know, so often we might weigh ourselves once a day, twice a day even, and we're going to fluctuate naturally throughout the day. But what happens is our emotions get so wrapped up on what the scales say. You know, if we then have put on a pound, put on 10 pounds, we get so angry and annoyed with ourselves. And you know, if we've lost 1 pound, yay, we're happy. But it's all based on those numbers. Instead of, you know, learning to go inwards, learning to be mindful and actually be happy and noticing the achievements that we've made, not based on numbers, or even being mindful, noticing where we have slipped up during the week so that we know the triggers that are going to catch us up again. But there are lots of other ways to measure our success than just going on the scales. Now, I'm not saying not to go on the scales, I'm just saying don't be obsessed with it. But we can also do things like measure our, chest, our waist, our bums. Also then look at perhaps old clothes that we want to get into that we no longer fit, but noticing our improvements when we keep trying them on. And also then just noticing perhaps our stamina and our fitness improving by the exercises that we're doing. And we would get a lot more joy and also achievement out of those rather than obsessing on the scales. Stop calling sweet foods treats. They are not treats. What I hear so often is, I'm just going to have one treat of a chocolate. I'm going to allow myself one treat tonight. Only it's not. Giving ourselves, diabetes and unhealthy food is not a treat. So let's stop calling it that. Also, what we're doing is we're setting our brains up to believe that treats are like food, and when we want to reward ourselves, what we do is, we're rewarding ourselves with these sweet treats. It's like, no. So think of other ways then to treat yourself. In other words, recognize internally the good things that you're doing, your good qualities, or something that you've achieved, and treat yourself by another way, by being nice to yourself or how you would like to be treated instead, of the food. But also then, instead of labeling these foods treat, just call them what it is. I'm going to have a chocolate tonight, or I am going to allow myself that drink tonight, okay? And just cut that associated word between treat and food. Not working on our mindset on this. Now, I think this is a real biggie that nobody talks about. You don't often hear, I don't hear slimming companies, diet companies talking about how to work on the inside, the grey matter here. They all talk and focus on what you should eat, what you should exercise, but not this. Now, it's a biggie because in here is the driving force behind everything that we do. So imagine everything that has happened in our life before is stored up in this mini computer. And it's the very thing then that is, collecting all of our emotions, which then is leading to, the thoughts that we have, which then leads to the behaviours that we have, which then leads to what we see on the outside. Now imagine if we had a car, and we changed the wheels, because we wanted to drive a bit further, a bit longer. So the changing the wheels, maybe changing the body, is going to get us so far. But if we then don't upgrade our engine, make it a bigger engine, it's not going to get us over those tough hills, or it's not going to drive us for the amount of time that we want to drive for. So really, you have got to look underneath the bonnet and start working there. Now, many people don't, because it's such a, deep, dark, murky world, maybe. Where on earth do you start? So start by practicing mindfulness, okay? And this is by being really observant of everything that you're doing and observant of your thoughts. So when you're going to reach out for food, it's just like, why? When you're going to eat and you're going to eat double the amount, it's just taking that step back and observing, how do I feel and what am I noticing about myself? and just then write everything down, just observe it, and then this is where you can start by unravelling the negative things that are stopping you on that journey. Ignoring your hunger cues. Now, I can sort of get this, we want to lose weight, but if we're hungry all the time, we've got to stop eating. But what we're doing is we are starting to dissociate ourselves from our bodies, cause that separate thing. And maybe we think, if we ignore those hunger cues, they'll go away. Sorry, they won't. When we do really, really well on a diet, when we, sort of start to lose weight sustainably each week after week, we actually need to become more in tune with our bodies, get to know sort of ourselves much more. A lot of the time our bodies are telling us exactly what it is that we need. So sometimes if we are hungry and you perhaps, let's just say you've eaten a meal, but you know that you're feeling hunger, well then it's a bit sort of a common sense to go, well actually perhaps I'm not hungry. What is it then that I really, really need? Now it could be that you're nutrient deficient in something, because when our body's crying out for, nutrients, vitamins, then yes, it gives us the signals that we're hungry. So if you're getting that, go for a lot more fruit and a lot more vegetables in your diet. Also, if you're getting, hunger signals, but it's not time to eat, go and eat, because if we cut that off, let's say your hunger signal is at, a 3 out of 10, so you're a bit peckish, tiny bit hungry. If you ignore it, before you know it, it gets to a 10, and then you are ravenous, and this is when you start reaching out for the junk food and eating anything because you are so hungry. So if you are overeating and you know that you are hungry all of the time, you really have to start to look in and check in with your stomach to be saying, is it really that I'm hungry, or what else is it that I'm needing? And start to work out your meals a little bit more, because can you cut back little by little? Don't just cut back all at once, because then your body is going to be thrown into disarray and not know what's going on. Changing everything at once. When we start on a diet, we normally go hell for leather and totally go for it. And this means, not eating anything remotely that could be deemed as bad, going to the gym every single day, getting up early and doing our exercises and just drinking water and, totally like being on the straight and narrow. And it's like, if we were Olympic dieters, it's like we are going for the gold. But this is so unsustainable. It's because we are human, and we have emotional needs, but also because we're only able to make incremental small changes. And this is because unconsciously, right, we are used to where we are now at the moment, and our unconscious is going, look, we're safe, we're happy, great, this is all that we need. But yet when we make all these changes on the outside, it's taking our unconscious out of its comfort zone. And so our unconscious going, whoa, what's happening? I don't like this. Oh, you might be unsafe. There's something bad might happen. No, I need to rein it back in and bring it back to where it is that we are now. Also, it's just so much of a change, a big change to our lifestyle, that we forget, or we're coming and going, but also other parts of our lifestyle perhaps hasn't changed, and suddenly there's new parts of it just can't fit in, it doesn't go. So we need to make sort of small incremental changes. And also habits, when we have habits, they can take at least up to 21 days for them to stick. So we want to implement one habit at a time. So write a list of everything that you want to change in your life, to do with dieting. So is it just food, but also it might just be, to do with your exercise and just to do with your daily lifestyle as to how much it is that you move. What else could you be doing? When you've then written that list, put it into some sort of priority so as to what change that you're going to make first. And I would go for, the easiest changes first, the ones that are going to fit in easily. Because then once you find that one changes first, others then fit around it and your lifestyle starts getting easier. And also then weight loss becomes a lot more sustainable. So comment below, what do you do? What mistakes do you think that you make? Or do you make any of these mistakes that's stopping you on your weight loss journey? And thank you very much.